So we've got our laughter model, LAFT. The E in our laughter model is for earn it. You've got to earn the right to use humor at work. Nobody wants to work with the person who's like never responding to emails or getting their reports done on time, but they're there at every Taco Tuesday function. That is annoying. So it is important that you are prioritizing deadlines over punchlines, and that you are somebody who is reliable to work with and treats people well. Your best at work, your best ability is your reliability. And how you treat people is extremely important before you ever use any type of humor. Because remember, humor is life's sweetener. It's not the main course. So the main course of any organization are values and behaviors. So if we are creating a culture where we communicate well with each other, we treat each other with respect, we value other people's opinions, then the humor will probably mirror that as well. But in an organization where we tolerate toxic behaviors of like mistreatment and alienation and intimidation and harassment and things like that, well, then why would people change their behavior when they use humor? So that's why that study at the beginning of this podcast episode is organizations that are already good can go to great by adding humor and fun. But if your organization is a complete mess and toxic and people aren't treating each other even with respect, we're not even ready for humor, if that makes sense. We've got to earn it just a little bit. Another kind of thing to think about with earning it or using humor positively is just think about the safest and easiest way to use humor positively is humor about yourself and your own experiences. And then kind of the next step up from that, little more risk, but still pretty safe, is humor about shared experiences. Humor about shared experiences can be really powerful in bringing people together. So shared experiences, maybe there's a lot of construction going on at your work right now. And so, jokes about that or this project you're working on or whatever, that can be really powerful. But when it's humor about other people and their experiences, that's when just leave that to the professionals or outside of work stuff. But that is definitely it is the highest risk of offending people. And you're also kind of know that you're on the wrong track with your humor, and it's probably not appropriate for work if you're using a bunch of disclaimers with your humor, like beforehand. Like if you're like looking over your shoulder, like, you got a second? Okay. And you're like looking to make sure nobody's around before you tell someone some joke, or like, hey, I know this is bad, or I'm not sexist or anything, but it's probably not a great joke to be telling. Or if you have to say it was just a joke, then you haven't told one. If you have to say if it was just a joke, then the words you're looking for are, I apologize. That's what it was just a joke really means. Okay, so we got LAFTE. Our final letter for our laughter model is rituals. And it's important to think about, there's all these ways we can bring fun and humor to work. And there are a lot of organizations that mean well, but what they do is they have like one or two big fun events in a year. The annual company holiday party or something in the summer where we're all getting together outside of work, a big retreat. And those are fun, but they really don't drive a change in company culture or a feeling of, I work at a fun place. What does drive that are rituals that happen more often, monthly, weekly, even daily rituals. And companies spend a ton of money on these annual things that don't really drive company culture, when you could be doing things weekly or daily that really change culture, that are a lot smaller and a lot cheaper. So some examples of monthly rituals might be, depending on your organization, like a desk or area or door decorating contest each month. There's all sorts of different monthly events, and maybe you've got a prize each month for the way people decorate their area. And it could be as serious as, Women's History Month, or as silly as like National Yo-Yo Month or whatever. There's a software solutions company called Far Reach, and they have like a monthly Far Reach fun day where each month they'll just get together. They'll cut work a little bit short on a Friday and play some games once a month. That is starting to drive company culture. That's like, that's what we do around here. We have a good time. We've got that kind of stuff going on. Weekly rituals could be, there's been organizations I've worked with that do like a wacky sock Wednesday. Everybody wears their funniest socks, and then there's a prize given to the best pair of socks. Or Friday funnies. A lot of places do like Friday funnies where the boss sends out some funny videos or something like that on a Friday. Or maybe you want to do it on Monday to like, start the week off well, that kind of stuff. And then some daily rituals. I remember when I was working with students with drug and alcohol issues, real serious job. One of my favorite things that I knew was going to happen every day was that one of my colleagues from the office next door was going to come into my office at some point that day, and I had a dartboard, and we would have a pretty competitive game of darts together. And that was, for me, that was great. Whether it was we were talking about a difficult case while we were doing that, or it was going to be at the end of the day, we've both got time and we're going to do our little dart game. That was awesome for me. That was something that was just like a little stress reliever that you could do. There's some organizations will do like a 3:00 song where the only rule is during this song, you have to stop working and take a break. You don't have to dance if you don't want to, but you have to stop what you're doing and maybe walk around, take a break, whatever. And one employee gets to pick the song for that day. That kind of is just like a circuit breaker, little psychological reset. And then we get, back to work after that. So there are all sorts of different rituals that you can put in place. And maybe your workplace already has them and you just want to formalize them just a little bit more. That's what really drives a culture where people feel like, you know what, where we work, this is what we do. We have a good time. We've got all these rituals in place where we do fun stuff pretty regularly rather than like once a year. Oh, we better try to have some fun because we haven't had any all year. So that's our LAFTER model. Lead by example, ask for help, think fun over funny, tell your story, earn it, and rituals. If you put all 6 of those things in place, you can really create a dynamic culture where people are having fun, using humor to drive innovation and connection, and a culture where people might actually enjoy going to work and not cringe and roll their eyes and want to hide from it. So don't forget to grab, I appreciate you listening and following this podcast, but don't forget to grab your free Fun Over Funny guide. It's going to be in the show notes, so feel free to download that and subscribe.
You've been listening to Laugh or Death with Paul Ozencup. If you're planning a conference or event and want something smart, meaningful, and actually funny, book Paul to speak. To learn more or to get a copy of his book, The Humor Habit, visit laughordeath.com.